self-defense techniques to learn right now. 5 quick self-defense moves that you can master in a very short period of time. If you have a target to practice with, you can practice with that. If you don't, you can do all of these in the air. I'm going to show you number 1 first. And I call it putting the helmet on. You're going to bring your hand up here, and it's going to help you support your head in case you're getting hit here. It's also going to protect your head and your neck. The outside of your arm is exposed, but you're going to be putting this part of the arm into the attacker's face. So by putting your helmet on and driving forward, notice that you're taking a step in this technique. You're lifting your elbow and you're leading with this part of your arm. That long bone with this hard point is going right into the nose, the teeth, the throat, the solar plexus. When you practice self-defense, you always want to practice first the principles of self-defense. Number 1 is always situational awareness. Pay attention around you. Number 2 is get in a better position. Your hands are up between you and the threat. And number 3, ask yourself, what targets can you remove or destroy? And that's where the first technique comes in. The technique is employed into his face if that's my target. If I say I want to take away his ability to see me or breathe temporarily or permanently, his ability to stand up, I'm going to take this elbow and stick it in one of those points on his body. You're just going straight into the center line. Hello, Doug. Good to see you. Who else do we have here? Ron. Ron, it's good to see you, Ron. So from here, your hands are up in a better position. One foot's behind the other one. You put them between you and him. You give him a command, back up. You're too close. If he keeps coming in, or if you know you have to defend yourself, you're leaning in, you're reaching, you're accelerating with this elbow. That's the first basic quick technique for self-defense. Putting your hand on your head, when you get hit there, that's going to act as a shock absorber. That's going to help you. If you get both hands up, that's going to protect both sides. You can drive this elbow, you can drive this elbow, just stepping in and using the weight of your body to drive through and stop him from coming close. Especially if he might have a weapon, I want to address that as fast as possible. You don't want to go back. You don't want to pull your hands back and expose all your vital organs and all the soft tissue in your body. Instead, you're going forward. That's number 1. Now, the second quick technique for self-defense is going to be from this position, bringing your hands together and striking. Using 2 hands is always better than 1 when you're coming straight in to the face. And you can practice this again on a target or in space. You don't need to have a target to hit. So you step in, put the helmet on, bring the hands in here. Number 2 is like a scissor motion with your arms. You're going to be very powerful when you put your hands together and you push this way and you're driving again into the soft tissue in the middle of his body. What target can you remove or destroy? You stick the elbow here, smash the nose, eyes, teeth into the throat, into the solar plexus if they're taller than you, or if that's the best target and you're coming straight forward. Then the next thing you're going to do from here, the next technique is driving an elbow to the side of his head or into his arm or into his ribs, depending on whether you're standing or sitting, whether he's taller or shorter. From here, this elbow turning through the shoulders and hips becomes one of your best options because you're so powerful here. The key is to keep your hand close to your body when you do it. So if your arms are out here, it's not a very good strike. If your hand is here, it's very powerful. Also, you want to move in when you do that strike. Stepping in as you're turning your shoulders and hips becomes extremely powerful when you're striking the nose or his teeth or his throat for self-defense, or the side of his head or his jaw for self-defense. Stepping and turning at the same time, you're accelerating the power through that strike, engaging all the muscles in your body plus the weight of your body by stepping. So the third basic quick technique for self-defense is that horizontal elbow strike. Now you can alter this, you can change it, you can bring it up and drive down into the body. That's the same move, just coming at a different angle. You can also drop it, bring it up in to his solar plexus, under the chin, into his throat for self-defense. Any of these elbow strikes, but it's the turning motion that gives you the power, and when you step, it becomes so much more powerful. So practice, starting with number 1, putting your helmet on. Number 2, driving with 2 hands together. And it's not one or done. You want to hit over and over and over. You want to strike 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as many times as you can. You start to see you're creating distance. start to drive the elbows either with your arms separated, put the hands back together, it becomes even more powerful. And again, you can go down and over the top, you can come up and in. These are all powerful elbow strikes. The fourth quick self-defense technique that I want you to learn is putting your hands together again, getting lower. By getting lower, I simply mean bend your knees. Hi, Nick. Nick's in London. Bend and drive. Nick, it's good to see you again. Bend and drive. You're using your elbows, but you're not really like this. You're not pushing so much. I don't know why that reminds me of London, Charlie Chaplin, but Charlie Chan, that's in San Francisco. Charlie Chaplin, you're not doing so much of this, you're doing more of this. And you can see, if you just use your arms, you'll have some effect. When you use your whole body, you'll have a lot of power to drive through the target. So if he's coming into you, you put the helmet on, you drive here, drive those elbows, lower your body, drop levels, change levels, get below him so you have better balance and you're in the soft tissue right here into the solar plexus or into his the thin fascia that hold his guts in, right there around the belly button, and drive. Once you do this, I want you to pull this arm, and you're now gonna use this part of your arm to drive in to his face. And you get the most power when you're also stepping. He can be behind you, you can drive here, you drive here, that same elbow can come down and into his body. It's very powerful, it's very effective. Even if he's taken hold of you, his hands are on your neck from behind, you're gonna lift your elbow higher than your shoulders. His hands are on your elbow, on your neck, lift this up, and it's just gonna pop his hand right off. As you go through, you're gonna strike. If he's too far back, extend that arm and smash with your fist right across his face or into his temple. So the fifth technique, super fast, quick, basic techniques for self-defense, is going to be this backward elbow strike, coming higher at an angle if his hands are on your neck, or straight back into his jaw, into his temple, instant knockout in most cases, when you also step and turn your whole body. All that power coming concentrated in the back of that arm, or if he's right behind you, he's grabbing you, even if he's got you in a bear hug, instead of trying to fight him forward and pull your hands out, drop your elbow straight down and into that solar plexus, try to knock his guts out. Thank you, Studer, for that generous donation. We appreciate that. Now, those are the 5 quick self-defense techniques, but I want to go over them again, and I want to add something to it, a couple of things. From for the very beginning, if he comes forward and he puts his hands on you, you're going to put your hands on him. That's going to be a principle of self-defense. I want you to write it down. First principle of self-defense, situational awareness. Pay attention. Number 2, get into a better position. Your hands go up. They're between you and the threat. We're going to call this the threat. Between you and the threat. You're not going to be able to block fast enough when the punches are thrown. Nick, it's good. Yeah, Nick says elbows and knees are brutal. If your hands are already up between you and him, he's not going to punch you in your hand. He's going to have to get around your hands. Studer says, thanks for the lessons, Coach. My pleasure. Thank you, Studer, again for that generous donation. But when your hands are up, you interrupt his line of sight. This is a pattern interrupt. If he is a practiced perpetrator, he's a practiced predator, he's a practiced punk going around hurting people, not a punk rocker, you know what I mean, a thug. Your hands are up, you interrupt his line of sight, that changes what his expectations are. He's used to seeing cower. He's used to seeing people willow away in fear. That's what he wants. You're gonna put your hands up and say, hey, you're too close, back up. If you come closer, I'm gonna defend myself. Your hands are here. You can put that helmet on if you have to. Notice that this hand is still here. That's to protect this side of my face. I drop this here. My hands are already ready for those strikes, for these elbows, to drop down and come in here, right? And then to turn and finish them off with a quick, powerful backward elbow into the jaw, into the temple, or coming down. Maybe he's dropped a little bit. I'm gonna stick it right in his head. His head's down here. I'm just gonna drive it for self-defense. And again, it's not one and done, it's multiple times. But for self-defense, write down the principles and practice those first. Situational awareness, better position. Ask yourself, what targets can you remove or destroy? Can you take out his ability to see you, his ability to breathe? his ability to stand upright, his ability to walk. Let's talk about that. Take your knee and drive it up and into his groin. Now you're gonna get all kinds of people saying, no, that doesn't work, you're just gonna make him mad, whatever. But I'm not trying to hit him in his private parts. I'm trying to lift him off the ground with this top part of my knee. I'm not using the patella. Don't use your kneecap. Use this muscle here. Drive it forward. You can bring it around and drive it to the side. You can pull him down while you're driving that up. All if your hands are in this ready position, this flinch block. He puts his hands on you, you put your hands on him. That immediately braces you for self-defense. That stops you from getting shook around, that stops you from getting pummeled. You get your hands up. From this position, you can drive your elbows. You can drive the elbows from here, bringing them down, bringing them up, right? Bringing them through this way, down into his body. You can drive those knees from here. And when you have to, you throw your punch, you kick, and then you can get out. But drive from here, always going forward at first when you can. If you go back, he gets all the distance he needs for his swing. If he's got a weapon, you're in even more trouble, as you have just exposed all the soft tissue, all the nerves and the veins and the arteries and the muscle, all the things you don't want to get sliced up. Your eyeballs, your nose, your mouth. Instead, cover up. Do that from this position when you have to. And then here. Now I want to show you that this is a trainer. One more thing. For those of you who do, yeah, Nick says a knee to the groin probably stop their will to fight. And it might not. They might be so full of adrenaline, but it's not about stopping them here mentally. It's about mechanically stopping them, right? If I break this bone and they can't hardly walk, or if I bring this around to the side and drive it into his thigh and break that thigh bone or hyperextend the knee and he can't pursue the fight, that's what I want. Now this is a trainer, and I wanted to show you, that's why it has that tip. There's a link below. It's the first link. It's my favorite personal safety self-defense tool that is not a real one of these, but it's based on this. It's based on pepper balls. It's a pepper ball gun, and it uses the same thing as mace or whatever, those things that have been popular, pepper spray. It's a pepper ball gun, and it's the first link below. You can see it. It's a pricier option, but for a lot of people, it's a better option for them because they don't want to carry one of these. It's a non-lethal option. But if you carry this, either the pepper ball version, which is the first link below, you can look at that and see what that is, or carry a real one of these in any denomination. We'll just pretend like there's my holster. I'm gonna carry it on the hip. I like to appendix carry personally, but it's all the same, right? From here, this same technique that we're practicing today, we're putting the helmet on and driving the elbows, driving here. This all comes from weapon retention. So this is a weapon retention drill. For those of you who do conceal carry or who have the Byrna, which is the first link below, because I know some of you have gotten the Byrna, and now that you have it, you have to be prepared to use it for self-defense and in a non-lethal way. And if you do, you have to be able to draw it and not have it taken away. Now, this is most commonly taken away from law enforcement or private citizens, not when it's in the holster and not when it's fully presented, but when it's coming out. And then it's easy to strip it. Not easy. Easy is the wrong word, because then you're thinking some Krav Maga guy taking it away and taking it back. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy gets in a fight for his life, and you're in a fight for your life, and you have to be able to defend yourself with this option. That's where you are. For whatever reason, you don't want them to take it away, obviously, right? And just expecting that you're gonna know how to get it out first before the other guy, that's asinine. If you haven't trained, I was telling a woman this morning about self-defense. She was concerned that her children would be upset with her because she's signing them up for self-defense, her grown children. And I said, look, it's girls. They had to take a life-saving course to be a babysitter. One of them is a lifeguard. She had to take a course to be a lifeguard. If you're gonna go away to college, you're gonna go off and be on your own as a young adult, young man, young woman, you should take a self-defense course. It's the same thing, it's just common sense, right? So let's say this is here. You wanna learn weapon retention, that's what this is called. It's all the same thing. The altercation is physical. He's starting to come up here. You don't wanna immediately, that's That's not a responsible way to use that safety tool. Instead, if it gets to the point where he's closed the gap and you're caught off guard, you get your hands here. You're going to be able to drive this elbow in to stop him. This slides up against the body. You take what's called like a C grip or a C clamp. See how my hands are like this, and I'm gonna use this part to thrust. And with this, I'm striking here, striking with the elbows, I drive, and then as I move back, I have the room and now the choice. Do I employ it or do I not employ it? Yeah, Peter says not trained. A lot of people are not trained. They're trained in concealed carry, literally in the state of Florida. They have to do one shot on a paper target, and then they get the thing to carry. They get a paper and a card, and they're allowed to carry it. That's the worst idea in the world to me, having been trained from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours on how to use this effectively. One shot on a paper target does not qualify you, in my opinion, to carry one of these. It's not that simple. And it's not as simple as knowing how to use it here, but it's more important to know how do you get it from here to here, and what happens when the guy's on top of you. What happens when you get hit from behind and then you're on the ground and you have to employ it. What happens if it's in the middle of the night and if someone's in your house? And this happened recently. The guy's shooting through his house at the intruder and hits his pregnant wife. I mean, there are all kinds of horrible stories we hear every once in a while. Now the solution, whatever the politics may be, if you're gonna have it, is to train. And one of those pieces of training, in addition to accuracy and proper use and when you should use it and all the laws that go with it, all the legal stuff you have to know. But in addition to that, you should also know how to retain it, how to not have it taken from you and then used against you or your loved ones or somebody else with your self-defense tool. So from here, this is the same thing you just practiced with this technique. And that's where I got it. I didn't make it up either. But it's all the same kind of techniques that work and that are effective, that are taught to law enforcement. Best law enforcement trains. The best law enforcement, the best military. I got a new rig for the camera. I'm not loving it, but we're trying to make it work. Anyway, Studer, thanks for that donation. Thank you for everybody for training with me. Let me know in the comment section below, please, if you do conceal carry, if you do have something like this, do you also train weapon retention? Have you ever thought about it? Have you considered it? If you do, how do you train it? What are the things? If you don't carry one, put in the comment section why you do or why you don't, because I think that's an interesting thing. It's not for everybody. It's not available everywhere. Yeah, Peter is saying that law enforcement shoots between 100 and 500 rounds a year in Germany, which seems like a lot. It's not. If you've ever been on the range, if you've ever trained, it's really not. And I know for a fact that a lot of law enforcement learns it they might do like a course on weapon retention in the academy, but maybe that was 20 years ago or 15 years ago or 30 or 40 years ago. And they haven't, and then there's not enough training for law enforcement. That's why you see a lot of these unfortunate events where some tools are misused when people get in those gray areas, and it becomes really unfortunate, tragic for everybody involved. Usually wasn't intentional. Every once in a while you get a bad actor who just shouldn't be there in that position or that job. But most of them are good people. Most of them just don't have enough training. And it's not really their fault, it's the department.